What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. The trade yesterday ended up being an absolute banger. Posted everything on Twitter. Quick shout out to all of you guys. Feel free to pause the video at that point to kind of look through what kind of unfolded there. But yeah, execution was everything documented on Twitter. And yeah, that was a very solid trade, very clean. And that puts us at 7 out of 7 wins since the start of this year. And obviously last year we had around this 78% win rate. So yeah, we're very much on track to, kind of do better than last year so far, but a lot can still change. And what's important is that today we have news. And so we're going to try to replicate the success from yesterday. Hopefully we're going to make another winning call from today. So to kick things off, we have a bullish daily bias, which means that we are looking for a long today. I understand that in terms of the daily chart, the weekly chart, not even the weekly, I think this was the monthly, we're in some sort of a balanced price range. Hence why, I drew this out. But one thing to keep in mind is that we are trading on the intraday, basis, which means that we are usually opening and closing the trade within the exact same day, usually within a couple of hours. So whatever that's happening on the monthly chart, sure, take a look at it, but don't let that affect what, you're trying to accomplish in an intraday kind of context. So anyways, in terms of the 1 hourly chart, we have a fair bit of gap that we have just retraced into sometime during the Asia session just now. And London so far has been kind of like showing a breakout and just kind of like continuing the price action. So far, the order flow on the 1 hourly is incredibly bullish. And like, this is just a retracement before we expect continuation towards the upside. Besides that fair bit of gap though, I could potentially draw out this kind of like bullish order block over here. Do I expect price to come all the way back down here? Probably not, but I'm going to break this all down once we go into the 5-minute chart. So this is what I mean. London so far has broken up above Asia. So right now you're just looking for London to really retrace back into any sort of key level, like this order block right here, this order block right here, this order block right here. Like, it doesn't matter. Key thing is we're looking for price to give some sort of a continuation. Now the exact timing that you're going to want to look for this is around the New York session. So well, more specifically, we have news later at 8:30 a.m. So the ideal trading window for today is the hour before news to the hour after. So starting from 7:30 a.m. all the way up till 9:30, that's going to be when the setup is most likely to be present. And so that's what you want to look for. But even right now, if you retrace back into these bullish order blocks and whatever, it's already good enough to trade. Now, will I take that though? No, because it's going to be in between the kill zone. London kill zone ends at 5 a.m. and it will restart again at 7. And again, we have news at 8:30. So you may as well just wait for 7:30 to 8:30. And as long as you see some sort of 5 minutes change state of delivery towards the upside around that time, then you're going to be able to get in. And of course, I will be posting any of my live updates on Twitter for absolutely free. Feel free to follow along there. Link will be down below. But otherwise, not too much to talk about in terms of Bitcoin. Like, it's just super clear. Yesterday was super clear. The day before was super clear. And one of the big reasons for that is because there was news in the last, 3 days. Not 3 days, actually. Right now it says Wednesday. Actually, this is weird. This is not supposed to be on Wednesday. Yeah, okay. Yeah, in the last 3 days, we have news at 8:30 a.m. And like, if you guys know anything about this system, it's that on news days, the probability of, the system playing out is a lot higher. Like, if you can just skip all of the non-news days and just focus on the news days, like, you are going to have such an easy time trading the system. It's ridiculous. As you guys on Twitter have said, you don't really care if I wear a pink Lulu in sucking on lemon. You've made you a lot of money. Well, guess what? You can make a lot of money using the system if you focus on the news days and focus on the days where it's super clear, where you don't really have to kind of second guess what is happening. You don't have to guess direction. It's like, all right, clearly we are bullish. Clearly we have a couple of key levels that we want to retrace back into. Clearly we have an exact timing that we want to pay attention and to execute trades. And the reason why timing is important, by the way, is that a lot of people tend to just focus on, price. But you've got to keep in mind that a chart is made up of 2 axes. You have a vertical axis and you have a horizontal axis. It's not just about what happens on the vertical. It's very important to keep in mind timing as well. The same concept applied on different timings has wildly different results. That's why, if you've learned order blocks or fair value gaps or, a lot of these fancy concepts, you've never once applied timing to using those concepts. It could be the reason why you are finding such inconsistent results. So just a little bit of an insight there for you. But otherwise, let's get into Ethereum and take a look at Ethereum. We are having a bullish daily bias as well. And besides that, you have a fair value gap over here that price has retraced into on the daily chart. And right now, you're just going to go into the 1 hourly, find if there are any, PD arrays supporting our theory. So far, we have already gotten a CISD on the 1 hourly chart. On the 1 hourly chart, in fact, like even without the CISD, you're already pretty bullish. And one thing's for sure, you didn't really get a bearish change in state of delivery. So we are bullish regardless. So right now, you're going to be looking for price to retrace back into this entire zone here. Now, of course, we are able to kind of narrow this down to this fair value gap over here. And no, actually, that's about it. So yeah, when price gets into the fair value gap or just retraces back into the zone at around the key timing area, that's going to be a trigger for you to just jump into a trade towards the long side. And yeah, London has been trading above the Asia session high. And so far, it seems to be holding above. So that's a really good sign. It shows you that there's a party of interested buyers that are interested in keeping the price above that level, which is great. And basically, we're getting a new value area formed here. So like in the event that you sweep the value area low, that's going to be an easy setup. It's the exact same setup that I gave you guys on Tuesday, where, you sweep the value area low on Bitcoin and then, price pumps. Just to show you what I mean, this was the trade from Tuesday, where you have a value area forming right above the Asia high. And essentially the opportunity when you get a new value area is to sweep the value area low. So it's not like, oh, once you retrace back into this or like breakout, you come back here, that's the support. Well, it's more of like you have value area lows, sweep out the relative equal lows, and off you go. And today, Ethereum so far looks to be setting up for that exact setup. Now, if we go on to Solana, let's see what is going on there. So in terms of Solana, we are having a bullish daily bias, although yesterday ended up closing as an inside bar. So far, this nothing too much to look at. You have a bullish daily bias because of the bullish close yesterday. In terms of the 1 hourly, it's looking slightly weaker compared to what Ethereum and Bitcoin have been showing, just due to the fact that you have a bearish CISD and we do not yet have a bullish CISD. Now, you could argue that, order flow is already kind of bullish in the sense that, you've broken above these two otherwise bearish order blocks. So yeah, in Solana's case, I would definitely prioritize Bitcoin and Ethereum over Solana just for a long today, just because of how much more clear Bitcoin and Ethereum seems to be looking like. But in terms of Solana, like in case, when you get into the news event and you are seeing a 5-minute CISD on the 5-minute chart, it's already good enough for you to get into it. And just to give you a picture of where some of these key levels may be, this is a 5-minute order block. Like I wouldn't take the trade now just because we're not in the right timing yet, but later on, definitely not a bad idea. As long as price action is playing out in that direction, basically like I always say this, but when it comes to, trading, there is what we would like to see, right? We can come up with theories and kind of ideas as to what is likely to happen in the markets, but we can't just trade our idea blindly. We have to actually wait for the market to give us that confirmation. All right, if we're bullish on the market, well, guess what? We need to see some sort of bullish market structure shift or order flow on the 5-minute. Then, once that confirms, then you get it. Because at that point, not only do you have an idea, but the market agrees with your idea, right? There are clear signs that the market agrees with it. And that is when you jump into the trade. But otherwise, I think that's about it. Guys, really appreciate all of your support that, you have shown me. I'm not going to kind of go back there, but I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video and see you later on Twitter. Ciao, ciao.